Welcome to Lecture CS 120, Programming 1. Today, we will be diving into Boolean expressions, a fundamental concept in the computer science. Outline. In this session, we will cover four main areas: Java's relational comparison operators, the specific pitfalls of using equality checks with strings, and the use of logical operators. We will also discuss the precedence and associativity rules that govern how Java evaluates these expressions, including the concept of short-circuit evaluation. Introduction. To start, a Boolean expression is simply any expression that evaluates to one of two values, true or false. In Java, these expressions are built using two main types of operators: comparison or relational operators and logical operators. Comparison, relational operators. Java uses specific notations for mathematical comparisons. For instance, greater than and less than use the standard symbols, while greater than or equal to and less than or equal to are written as greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. Note that equal to uses a double equal sign, and not equal is written as an exclamation point followed by an equal sign. Using equal with strings. A common mistake is using the double equals operator to compare strings. While equal works for primitive values, for objects like strings, it only checks if they are stored in the same memory location. To check if the actual text is the same, you must use the equals method or equals ignore case method if you want to ignore capitalization. Logical operators. Logical operators allow us to combine or modify Boolean statements. We have AND, represented by a double ampersand, or represented by double pipes, and NOT, which is an exclamation point, as shown in the truth table, and requires both parts to be true, while OR only requires one part to be true to return a true result. Building Boolean expressions. When building expressions, remember that relational operators take numbers as operands, while logical operators take true or false values. For example, to test if a number x is between 15 and 35, you cannot use the math notation 15 less than x less than 35. You must use the logical and connector to write it as 15 less than x and x less than 35. Short circuit and complete evaluation. Java uses short circuit or lazy evaluation. If the result of an expression can be determined by the first operand, like an AND expression where the first part is already false, Java won't bother checking the second part. This is very useful for avoiding errors like dividing by 0. If you ever need to force a complete evaluation, you can use a single AND OR instead. Precedence and associativity rules. You don't always need to use parentheses, though they are helpful. When they are missing, Java uses a strict hierarchy called precedence to decide which operator to handle first. If two operators have the same level of precedence, Java then looks at associativity rules, usually reading from left to right, to determine the order. Precedence table. This table illustrates the full hierarchy. Notice that high-level operations like method invocations or increment operators happen first. Logical, and actually has higher precedence than logical or. The assignment operators at the bottom have the lowest precedence and are evaluated last. Evaluating expressions concepts. While Java has rules, the best practice is to use parentheses to make your intent clear to other programmers. This process is called binding. Also, be aware of side effects, which happen when an expression doesn't just return a value, but also changes a variable, such as when using increment or assignment operators. Evaluating expressions example. Let's walk through an evaluation. In this complex expression, we solve the inner parentheses first, getting 5 and then 4. We compare that to 7, which gives us false. On the other side, we evaluate if 20 is less than 20, which is false, but the NOT operator flips it to true. Finally, false or true results in an overall value of true. The end. That concludes our look at Boolean expressions. Thank you for your attention.